I thought I'd show you this. It's sitting on my bookshelf, and it is a supplement dedicated to the work of Ian Berry, who is still going strong as a photographer. Like Peter Marlowe, I was his assistant for a number of years, and I'm still in contact with Ian. But I think people forget Ian's history and what he did for photography, what he did in South Africa, what he was and is, and what he was about. And he's an incredible photographer. I've got this book here, which I have the cover somewhere else, which I'm going to look at next. It's Ian's Living Apart South Africa book, and I'm going to have a look at it at some point and just run through it, because I think you should buy it. So I think what I want to show you is Ian's work. This is a special edition supplement. It was part of an exhibition as well, but it was curated by Bridget Lardinois, Val Williams and Robin Sealis Christian. So Bridget, I think, was at the Barbican Gallery, I may be wrong, and joined the staff of Magnum Photos. Val is curator and writer based in London and research fellow at the London Institute, College of Fashion and London College of Printing. Robin Sealis Christian has worked at the University of West London Photography and Archive Research Centre as an interim researcher. Obviously there's a lot of people involved with this, and so literally it's a coming together of Ian's work as an observer photographer and charting some of the history of the colour supplement and the supplement and the observer supplement itself. I just want to quickly run through it. That's South Africa, black woman looked after a white child, 1965. As you're aware, Peter did a lot of work in South Africa, the book I've just shown you. So this is, it says Golden Boy, Ian Berry and the early history of the colour supplement, which is in black and white. I may add, this is the mono version. That's interesting. Maybe because of the reference, and maybe they're not, maybe they're documented in black and white film, or maybe I don't know. Being a photographer is not a brain surgery. All you need is the ability to design, to recognise something and make the shape out of it. Yeah, very true. So there's a bit of history on this. There's some of his work in the Observer magazine, the end of the Golden Summer, Brighton Pier. The Blacks, it's called, the Observer magazine, January 10, mono version, The Blacks. I think this is somewhere in Africa. I can't really make out the text. It'll be in here somewhere. There's a bit of his history working for Drum, working out of Paris with Magnum. Chelsea Saturday, the White Rhodesians, The Observer, front cover. The great single picture is emotionally satisfying, whereas getting a good journalistic story is more about being a professional. He's such a great observer. Having worked with Ian on countless assignments, I know how he works. I see how he sees pictures. I don't profess to know what he does effectively, but I can see how he works. And I tell you something, I've said it before, I've never seen Ian Berry set a picture up yet. All the years I've worked with him in a corporate environment, and an editorial environment where he's been around things happening and people, I've never seen him set anything up. He just has a knack of letting things unfold and getting involved. It's incredible. This is in the Congo. I'll try and pronounce that. Leopoldville, man of different tribe persuaded and stoned by a mob shortly after independence. Lesotho, South Africa. Gold miners, Johannesburg, Soweto, a political strike, 61, Elizabethville. Well, I'm not going to go into it here, but Ian is very big and responsible for a lot of what went on in within the political climate of South Africa. So a lot of his photographs really changed the shape of South Africa at the time. There's a lot more about that in his book, which we'll look at another time. So an elderly patient wakes up from hospital. This is England, East Midlands. That's 69, 64, 64. Anglican missing in Woolwich, England, the Whitechapel Hospital, I presume. The Valleys, this is in Wales. It's a cover. The English reconstruct of Wales. reconquest of Wales. He shoots a lot of verticals, and is this actually, I know Ian's really handy with a vertical, yeah. I don't know if many people realise how much of a vertical style, how much he uses the vertical style in his work, and actually he lends himself to covers all the time. And this is, who's this? Who are they now? White Rhodesians and Who Are They Now? The Observer magazine, 1965. A series of spreads from that. And that was the cover. We've seen the cover there. Beautiful shot, isn't it? I mean, awesome. He just slipped in there and get that, like, I bet you didn't even notice he took it. What's this? Wow, that is beautiful. That doesn't look like 1967. I wonder where he is now. 77, 87, 97, 2007. He'd be like 60, 70 years of age, that chap. Yeah, amazing. Look at that cover again. Wow, it's beautiful. What a beautiful shot. Looks really old, that cover, doesn't it? North London. Oh, that was Canada, Newfoundland, 67. Northern Ireland, Londonderry. This is the IRA sympathisers. This is obviously the riots. I didn't realise he'd covered the riots. That's interesting. Czechoslovakia, Prague. Russian tanks take over Westminster Square in central Prague during the '68 invasion. Czechoslovakia. This is the Russian invasion. A Russian soldier chases a Czech youth through the street. Wales, the Aberfan rescue workers are silhouette against the smoke and ongoing bid to rescue children. I think it was the school where the coal tip collapsed on the school, and that was horrific. This is the Aberfan disaster. What a beautiful shot. In a sad climate, obviously. Pop Festival 75. When was that? Aberfan? 1966, wow. Evangelical Church, 83. England school milk being handed out to children. The government to help the poor, 74. This must have been the first milk things, but I don't quote me on that. A beer drinking Englishman ogles a black dancer in 1972. One of his famous shots. Beautiful. Oh, I remember seeing this shot years ago and thought, how the hell does he get that? Oh, beautiful. Timeless peach. Timeless picture. With such a ringing so much meaning and having so much connotations in the shot. And this is two Africans enjoyed themselves on a white-only beach, ignored by a passing white couple. 1984. Wow, that not even that long ago. Zulu land. Zulu's on the way to celebrate a wedding. South Africa, East Rand, a funeral. I'm not really into pictures this small. I think it's a waste of time. It's like cramming pictures in. Again, what we've got, Writer Penelope Mortimer, 66. That one I've covered with the Whitechapel Man with Daughter, 72. Writer Lawrence Durrell enjoys soup in his South of France home, 68. Author Muriel Sparks, 65. London workers emerged from a factory in Brixton. Battersea Doctor's Waiting Room, 69. Top of that. Hatted horse race goer, workman pushing a crate of beer. Really good contradiction, really good contrast, mate. I mean, 75. A white woman sits in a bar, pub serving predominantly Afro-Caribbeans, 64. West Kensington, crikey, I never associated that with West Kensington. It's so posh now. In a wash house in 74, wow. That's not something I associate with West Kensington. Writer John Wayne enjoys a pint, 66. John Wayne as in W-A-I-N. Author Jonathan Miller at his family home, 67. Observer conducted a survey to find someone typifying the British. They discovered through tests that this man was descended from the indigenous British people. 1966, I've no idea. Ian Berry, born in Lancashire, made his reputation as a photographer, photojournalist with reporting from South Africa, where he worked at the Daily Mail and later Drum. He was the only photographer to document the massacre at Sharpeville, and his photographs were used in the trial, proving that victims were innocent. Now, that is a big part of South African history, and that's what's in the book We'll look at that later. And then 62, Bresson, Cartier-Bresson invited Berry to join Magnum. And here's his awards, his exhibitions, his books. The English, which is a very sought after book now. I've had a hold of one of them, and I must beg Ian to see if he's got a couple line about. Anyway, I just wanted to show that some significance in the history of the Observer, just an insight into an amazing photographer. And thanks for listening.